There is a man most of us never fully understood. He woke up before the rest of the house. He carried things, not just groceries, not just furniture, but weight. The kind of weight that doesn't show up in a photograph. He didn't always say, "I love you," the way movies told us love should sound. But he showed up. Every single day, he showed up. This Father's Day, we're not going to talk about breakfast in bed or greeting cards. We're going to talk about the philosophy behind the kind of father who changes a life, often without even knowing it. We're talking about the Stoic father. Stay with me, because this one might change how you see your dad or yourself. What is Stoicism? Before we go deeper, let's quickly define Stoicism, because this isn't just ancient philosophy. This is a manual for living. Stoicism was a school of thought founded in Athens around 300 BC. Its most famous practitioners, Marcus Aurelius, Epictetus, Seneca, weren't just thinkers. They were soldiers, slaves, emperors, men who lived in the fire of real life. The core idea of Stoicism is this: you cannot control what happens to you. You can only control how you respond. 4 virtues sit at the heart of Stoic philosophy: courage, acting rightly in the face of fear; wisdom, knowing what truly matters; justice, treating others with fairness and integrity; temperance, mastering your impulses, not being mastered by them. Now pause and think about the great fathers you know. Do those 4 words sound familiar? They should. Because those 4 virtues, whether consciously or not, are the code that the best fathers live by. The father who leads in silence. Marcus Aurelius wrote in his Meditations, "Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one." This is perhaps the most fatherly thing ever written. Because great fathers don't lecture, they demonstrate. Think about it. The most powerful lessons your father ever taught you, were they delivered in a speech? Or were they delivered through a moment you watched him handle with quiet dignity? The father who lost his job but still got up at 6 a.m. to look for the next one. The father who was hurting but held it together at a family dinner because the kids needed to feel safe. The father who didn't make a big deal of his sacrifice, because to him, it wasn't a sacrifice. It was just what you do. This is the Stoic principle of leading by example, what the Romans called virtues. Virtue in action, not virtue in words, in action. And here is something critical that we often miss about these quiet fathers. Their silence was never indifference, it was discipline. Stoic philosopher Epictetus said, "It is impossible for a man to learn what he thinks he already knows." The Stoic father teaches by living the lesson, so that one day his child sees it clearly and says, "That's where I learned that." The strength to feel. Now let's talk about something that doesn't get enough attention on Father's Day. We celebrate strength, and rightly so. But Stoicism is often misunderstood as emotional suppression. That's not what it teaches. Stoics were deeply emotional people. Marcus Aurelius grieved. Seneca wrote about love and loss with breathtaking vulnerability. Epictetus, a man born into slavery, understood suffering at a level most of us never will. Stoicism doesn't say, "Don't feel." It says, "Feel everything, and don't be destroyed by it." The Stoic father cries. He fears, he doubts. He worries at 2 a.m. when his kid is sick. He feels that ache in his chest when his daughter walks out the door to go to college. He replays conversations, wondering if he said the right thing. He loves with a ferocity, that is almost terrifying. But he carries all of that quietly, not because men shouldn't feel, but because he has chosen to be the anchor, the thing that doesn't move when the storm comes. And that is not weakness dressed up as strength. That is one of the most profound forms of love that exists. This Father's Day, if you have a father like that, a man who held the weight so you never had to, I want you to see that clearly. What you witnessed was not a man who didn't feel. It was a man who felt everything and chose you over all of it. The Stoic Father's greatest lesson, the dichotomy of control. One of the foundational teachings of Stoicism is what philosophers call the dichotomy of control. Epictetus opens his Enchiridion, his handbook for living, with these words: "Some things are in our control and others not." Now think about fatherhood through that lens. A father cannot control whether his child gets sick. He cannot control the economy, the roads, the world outside. He cannot stop time. He cannot live his child's life for them. But here's what he can control. He can control whether he shows up. He can control whether he listens. He can control the environment he creates at home. He can control the values he models every single day. He can control his reaction when things fall apart. The Stoic father is not trying to protect his children from every hard thing. He is trying to prepare them for every hard thing. There is a massive difference. One raises a child who is fragile. The other raises a child who is formidable. Think about the moments your father allowed you to struggle, didn't rescue you immediately, let you sit in discomfort long enough to find your own solution. That wasn't neglect, that was wisdom. That was a father who understood, I will not always be here, but the lessons I give you will be. Amor fati. Love what is. There is a Latin phrase that Stoics lived by, amor fati, love of fate, love of what is. Nietzsche would later adopt it. But its roots are Stoic. It means not merely accepting what life brings, but embracing it, finding meaning in it, saying yes to the whole of it. Now think about what it means to be a father through that lens. A father doesn't choose all of his circumstances. He doesn't choose when he gets sick, when he loses work, when the world is unkind. But the Stoic father, whether he's ever read a single philosophy book or not, practices amor fati in the truest sense. He loves his family in the circumstances he has, not the ones he wishes he had. He doesn't wait for perfect conditions to be present, to be patient, to be generous. He does it now, in the ordinary, unglamorous, beautiful now. Seneca wrote, "Enjoy the present pleasures in such a way as not to injure the future ones." Every father who chose to put down his phone and play catch in the yard, that's amor fati. Every father who came to the school, play even when work was brutal, that's amor fati. Every father who said, "I'm proud of you," in the small moments, not just the big ones, that is amor fati. The love of this life, this child, this imperfect, irreplaceable moment. A letter to fathers. I want to speak directly to the fathers watching this. You may not feel like you're doing enough. Stoicism tells us that the examined life is often harder than the unexamined one. You see your own flaws clearly. You remember the times you lost your patience, the nights you weren't present, the words you wish you could take back. But here is what I want you to hear today. The fact that you feel that weight is proof that you care. Marcus Aurelius, Emperor of Rome, one of the most powerful men in human history, wrote his meditations not as a monument to his greatness. He wrote them as a private journal, full of self-correction, full of reminders to do better. He never thought he had arrived. He was always in the process of becoming. You are too. That is not failure, that is fatherhood. The Stoics believed that every single day is a new opportunity to live according to your values. Not yesterday's mistakes, today's choices. So to every father out there, the ones working double shifts, the single dads, the stepdads who showed up when they didn't have to, the dads fighting through grief or illness or doubt, this is your day. Not because you're perfect, but because you're still here, still trying, still showing up. That is enough. That has always been enough. A message to those who've lost their father. Father's Day is not easy for everyone. If you've lost your father, recently or long ago, this day can cut in a way that's hard to explain to someone who hasn't felt it. Stoics believed deeply in the concept of memento mori. Remember that you will die. Not as morbidity, but as a reminder to love deeply while we can. To not take time for granted. If your father is gone, I want you to know this. The fact that his absence creates this kind of ache, that is a testament to what he gave you. Grief of that depth is love that has nowhere left to go. And in the Stoic tradition, we honor those who have passed, not by dwelling in what we've lost, but by carrying forward what they gave us. His courage, his values, his way of handling hard things. That lives in you, and through you, it continues. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Think of yourself as dead. You have lived your life. Now take what's left and live it properly." That sounds heavy, but it is actually a gift. It means, don't wait. Call your father. Tell him what he means to you, in the specific, detailed, real way. Not just, I love you, but you taught me this. You showed me that. Because of you, I know how to do this hard thing. If you can't call him anymore, write it down. Say it out loud. Honor it by living it. And if you are a father yourself, know that the most stoic thing you can do today is simply this. Be present. Be consistent. Be the kind of man your children will someday point to and say, "That's where I learned what strength looks like, what love looks like, what it means to be a good person." You don't need to be Marcus Aurelius. You just need to show up. Happy Father's Day.